You've probably been told to budget harder, track every coffee, cut the subscriptions, and yet the people who end up genuinely wealthy almost never followed that advice. Researchers who studied millionaires for decades keep finding the same thing. The rich don't do what financial advice tells you to do. They do something quieter, something different, and almost none of it gets talked about because it's not dramatic enough to sell. The habits we're about to cover won't go viral. They won't be on the front page of any finance blog, but they show up again and again in every serious study of people who built lasting wealth. Here are the 7 things they actually do differently. The moment you have to decide to save money, you've already lost, because decisions cost willpower, and willpower runs out. Every high-income earner studied by behavioral economists follows the same pattern. Money moves automatically before the brain has a chance to spend it. The paycheck lands, and within hours, a percentage goes straight to investments, to savings, to a separate account they don't touch. There's no monthly review, no discipline required. The system makes the decision so the person doesn't have to. Think about what that removes. No guilt, no negotiation with yourself, no relying on being in a good mood. The architecture does the work. Most people think wealth is about self-control. The wealthy know it's about removing the need for self-control entirely. You don't win the willpower battle. You engineer around it. There's a threshold somewhere in the wealth curve where something shifts. People stop buying things and start buying hours. A cleaner, a driver, a virtual assistant, groceries delivered, meals prepared. Every one of those is a purchase of time, and that time gets redirected back to income-generating work, back to rest that protects performance, back to relationships that sustain them. The wealthy have figured out the math that most people ignore. An hour of your life has a dollar value, and once you know what your hour is worth, paying someone else to do things below that value becomes obviously rational. Here's the part that surprises people. This shift often starts earlier than you'd think. You don't need to be a millionaire to start buying back your time. Even small purchases of hours, outsourcing the tasks that drain you most, compound into attention and energy that can be redirected into something that grows. They don't do this to show off. They do it because the numbers say to. Most financial mistakes aren't irrational in the short term. Selling a stock that's dropping feels right. Spending a bonus feels good. Taking the safer job feels responsible. These are reasonable responses to short-term signals. The problem is that wealth is built on a completely different time scale. The wealthy play a different game. They hold positions that look wrong for months, sometimes years, because their frame of reference is 20 years out, not 20 weeks. This is harder than it sounds. It means watching short-term pain without flinching. It means trusting a thesis when everything around you says you're wrong. It means being comfortable looking like an idiot in the middle of the story, knowing only how the story ends. The research on long-term investors is consistent. Almost all major wealth is built in the periods most people couldn't hold on through. The exit is usually triggered by fear. The fortune is made by the ones who didn't exit. Wealthy people have a fundamentally different emotional relationship with money. For most people, money is identity, a scoreboard that tells them and the world how they're doing. That attachment is what causes panic selling, lifestyle inflation, and buying things to feel okay. The wealthy have learned or naturally arrived at a kind of psychological detachment. Money is a tool. It does things. You direct it. When it goes down, it's a metric to track, not a verdict on your worth. This detachment isn't coldness. It's actually a form of sophistication. When money stops being about who you are and starts being about what it can do, you stop making emotional decisions with it. You can hold a losing position without your identity depending on the outcome. You can walk away from a bad deal without feeling like you failed. You can take intelligent risks because the risk is just math, not a threat to your self-image. It's not that they don't care, it's that caring too much makes you bad at it. Study any high earner's spending and one category will be disproportionately large: learning. Books, mentors, courses, conferences, travel that exposes them to new thinking, dinners with people who are further along. This isn't vanity spending, it compounds directly. Every insight that generates a better decision, opens a door, or prevents a mistake returns multiples. The wealthy treat knowledge as an asset class, something you buy that produces returns over time. There's a compounding effect here that most people completely miss. The more you know, the better your decisions. The better your decisions, the more you earn. The more you earn, the more you can invest in knowing more. It's a loop. And it starts with treating a book or a course not as an expense, but as an investment with a return attached. Most people see education spending as a sunk cost. The wealthy see it as the only investment with genuinely unlimited upside. One of the invisible advantages of wealth is optionality, the ability to wait for the right opportunity rather than taking whatever comes. The wealthy guard this obsessively. They say no to investments that are just okay, no to partnerships that drain capacity, no to clients who cost more in energy than they pay in dollars. Every yes closes a door. Every no keeps options open. Warren Buffett has said that the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. That's not arrogance. It's a recognition that attention, time, and capital are all finite, and that spreading them across average opportunities destroys the returns that exceptional ones could generate. And in a world where the truly exceptional deals are rare, the people who have stayed free enough to say yes when it matters are the ones who catch them. The discipline of no is what preserves the capital, both financial and mental, for the yes that actually matters. A salary is fundamentally limited. It's capped by the hours you can trade and the rate someone's willing to pay for them. There is a ceiling, and you will hit it. The wealthy understand this early and spend their energy building things that earn while they sleep. A rental property, a business with processes that run without them, a portfolio of assets that pays dividends, intellectual property that generates royalties, digital products that sell at 3 in the morning with no one involved. The goal isn't to work harder, it's to build a structure where income is decoupled from time. And here's what makes this powerful. Once that structure exists, adding to it becomes easier because the returns compound. The first system is the hardest, the second is easier. By the fifth, the momentum is doing most of the work. Most people focus on earning more per hour. The wealthy focus on building more hours that earn. 7 habits. None of them secret. None of them complicated. And yet the gap between knowing them and applying them is where most people's financial lives quietly fall apart. The difference isn't access to information. The internet has made that free. The difference is implementation and timing. The wealthy apply these things before they feel necessary, when the compounding has the most runway. That's the real edge, not the knowledge. The earlier start. That's what this channel is for, giving you the frameworks before you think you need them. Subscribe if you want more of the game decoded every week. No noise, no hype, just the psychology behind how wealth actually works.